Hey everybody, what's up? How's it going? So I'm on Mount Herman Road. If you watched my last video about carrying the badge of honor for being a misogynist and a racist, then this is a continuation of the ride up Mount Herman Road to check out the snow level, but also do a moto vlog. So if you don't like the moto vlogging aspect, well, I guess skip through to see how the road is on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. What is this, the 28th, I think? Woohoo! Up over the rocks. Ooh. So the next topic I'm going to talk about here is disturbing. I was told not to really mention names. I'll mention the guy's first name. I will skip who helped him on their name, probably make something up, and yeah. But I think this is important because it's amazing to me in this day and age a hospital would do this. So my wife works with this woman. She also has another job, so she works part-time where my wife works. She was telling my wife this crazy story. And it's crazy enough, I feel like I should bring it to you, even though it's, what would that be, third hand or whatever, second hand, third hand. So, there's this guy. She rides dirt bikes, actually. And I think they ride tracks more because, I've invited them out and stuff, and I don't think they have much interest in riding hard stuff. And I think they ride mostly tracks. A lot younger than me. And anyways, that's cool, whatever you want to do. But she just through text knows this guy that was out here, and I don't know if they actually had ridden together or were going to meet up and ride together, but she had communicated in text with him. I guess he was living out of his truck, and you could tell from his website, which I looked at, he's an extreme adrenaline junkie, jumping out of planes, parachutes, and bungee jumping, and riding dirt bikes, which, is adrenaline in itself, and lives out of his vehicle. And he's young. Well, he was out on a ride with another guy. Not really sure if that guy was an actual friend, acquaintance, or what. I'm going to guess an acquaintance. I would hope so, or just somebody he met online, which I really hope that's what it was. Because when you hear the story, it's pretty bad. So the guy gets in a wreck, hits his head, knocked out, gets taken to, I think he got airlifted and everything. I'm pretty sure he did. I think that's what the wife said. He ended up in Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I specifically named them because they should be ashamed of themselves. So, and if they want to contact me and correct the story, although they can't give patient information, I would love for them to contact me and maybe give me their policy on releasing somebody. I would more than happy video them and let them have their say for second part to this. So, the guy gets in a wreck, bangs his head, they airlift him. I mean, he's totally unconscious. When he comes to, he doesn't know who he is. He can't speak either. It's all gobbledygook what he's trying to say. The words coming out of his mouth are not words. It's gibberish. Reminds me of when my brother-in-law got in a wreck and I was with him, and I told him it sounded like he was speaking Klingon for a little bit, but his speech came right back. Well, this guy's speech did not come back, so I don't know who he is. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know how he got there. He knows nothing at all. And a little bit of snow, some packed stuff here to keep momentum. So he didn't know who he is. So the nurses, which makes sense, go through his phone. Makes perfect sense, right? To try to figure out who he is. Well, they look at the most recent text and they see, hey, this guy, and I'll say his name because I won't use his last name, nor do I remember it off the top of my head. Nick had contacted my wife's co-worker slash friend, who I'm going to call Samantha. And Samantha, you know, they contact her, the nurses contact her, say, hey, do you know Nick, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I barely know him. Like, you know, he's like, hey, you know, somebody who we were supposed to ride with or did ride with or something like that. And they're like, well, can you come down here? And this is where it gets bad, because they con her to go down to Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Yes, I will say that quite a few times. And they say, hey, maybe if he sees you or you talk to him, that will trigger something in his brain. Makes perfect sense, right? And he will maybe start remembering stuff. Okay, so she's a really nice person. She goes down there. And I think most of us at this point would do this. She goes down there and she goes in, and at first they're like, well, only family members. And she's like, look, I got a call. They told me to come down here, and they had to like track down a person. It was like a big hassle just even to get in there, because technically she's not family. But yet they called her to come down there. You think they would have told her what to do. You know, obviously one hand didn't tell the other hand what was going on, right? If anyone comes in for this, Nick, and their name is blah, 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 have them, you know, come back here. We're treating her like family. So she goes and sees him, talks to him, and whatever. He doesn't know anything. Well, you can't speak. The words coming out of his mouth are gibberish. And so obviously he doesn't know who he is, and doesn't know, you know, it doesn't seem like he's really all there. And they end up telling her, like, look, if we will release him into your care, and remember, she doesn't really know this guy, we'll release him into your care, or we're just gonna like release him out onto the streets. Now, isn't that pretty effed up that a hospital who this woman is not a legal guardian, a parent, a relative in any shape, way, or form. Now, did the hospital try to contact more people? No, I probably not. It didn't sound like they did. They just went off the most recent text, and then once it conned her into coming there, right, you know, jog his memory, and then they tell her, well, we're going to just release him on the street if you don't take him. What the F? You're just going to release somebody on the street. So imagine, you don't know who you are, you can't speak, you're out of it. They wheel you in that wheelchair to the door, and once they get up, walk away, and watch you just walk away out of a parking lot. To where? To go down the street. You don't know anything. You're totally out of it. You're gonna walk into a street, get hit by a car. You're gonna walk down the street, get attacked, mugged. I mean, you might not have anything on him, but you know, no one would know that. And if he's really not all there, they think, oh, here's somebody with issues, and take advantage of him, right? Possibly kill him. And then, you know, the other option is the police end up picking up, which would be maybe good, maybe bad. Most likely could be bad, because he can't talk, he doesn't know who he is, so they end up putting him in jail. They're gonna have to have a doctor there look at him, and who knows what happens there. I don't know that whole process, and that's why it could be good, it could be bad, right? I mean, if it's people that know what they're doing, they would be good to try and figure it out. But in the meantime, if he, you know, they would obviously give him back any possessions on him, and if they gave back his phone, let's say, and somebody mugged him, and then the cops got him, well, now there's nothing in his wallet, assuming he had a wallet, there's nothing he can do, because he can't speak, his mind's not there, and the police will, you know, take him in and maybe think he's not cooperating, and it might take a while until a doctor does see him within the jail system, you know? I don't know how they're set up for determining if somebody's all there, or just not working with them, or, you know, what the issue is. Or what if he's not all there, but he, for whatever reason, something clicks, and he starts putting up a fight, but he doesn't know why, really. It's like, hey, these guys are trying to say, you know, in his mind, and he can't speak, and he like starts to put up a fight, you know. And then the cops like beat him up for resisting and charge him with all this BS, which isn't true, because Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs had just released somebody with brain trauma. So she's being a nice person, Samantha being a nice person, takes him home. Because she doesn't, you know, don't want, no one wants to see the guy on the street. And then she begins the investigative work of going through social media and going through his phone. And yeah, I guess she does get a hold of the mother, but I guess the son and her don't really see eye to eye. And it must be bad enough, whatever the issue is, that she doesn't want anything to do with it. She doesn't care that he has brain. So what a good mother, right? You would think, if anything, okay, you might not see eye to eye, but you take back your son for now. And maybe if you thought it was on him, on the issues, maybe after this, you know, you'd have a better relationship, right? I don't know. I'm just saying. But they also, no one lives in this state that he knows. Like, so she contacts a bunch of people, and they're just, no one wants anything to do with him, which is also sad. And mind you, he had brain trauma, so they didn't send him out with anything, and she has no training and no, you know, like, well, what do I do, you know? And he can't speak, and he can't. So eventually, I guess she rounds up some people that are willing to help, but I don't. That's all I know right now. I was just so shocked that Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs, Colorado, sent somebody that has brain trauma out onto the streets. Now, what I told my wife is, I said, you know what it is? He doesn't have insurance, and they pawned him off on the first person. Obviously, it was a con job to get her to come down. But she's a nice person. It just all seems logical of why you would be like, yeah, I'll come down. But then they like threaten to put him on the street. It's so horrible. What do you guys, gals, think of this story? I'll have to ask the wife if there's any updates and bring you an update on how he's doing, this and that. Because that is just unbelievable that Memorial in Colorado Springs, a hospital, a place you would consider, these are professionals, that they wouldn't do that. That there would be a procedure like, you know, we have to figure out, try to get a family member, or there would be like a hospice or something, that there would be something that we could send him to until he maybe got better. And if he doesn't get better, but it gives us a time to figure that out, right? You would think there'd be something there. This can't be like the only case ever, right? Of a person that obviously has a little bit of means of however he's surviving, working, whatever, from here to do all this adrenaline junkie stuff. You know, it's just disgusting to me that a hospital, because we trust our hospitals, we call them heroes during the pandemic, but then you get issues like that, and it's like, well, are they, how many of these people are heroes? And for the nurse, you might say, well, she's just following her job. I would say fire me. Once people start standing up to employers and stuff and say, hey, you know what? Fire me. Then, you know, things will change. But until then, people just, well, I gotta do it because of my job. Because my job's more important than my morals. Well, you know, we're all in trouble. It's just, I don't know. It just disgusts me. So, anyways, what do you all think of it? What would you do? Would you go get him? Would you just let him fend for himself? Now, knowing what you know, for me, if somebody called you like that and you didn't know the person, I think I would be like, I'm the last resort, man. You keep going through that phone. There has to be a mother. There has to be somebody. But at the same time, would you let them just go on the street now that you know they might just do that? Anyways, Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs. they'll just send you on the street with brain trauma and let you die. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. Hopefully you all take care, stay well, stay safe, get out there and ride if you got those two wheels. If not, get a Jeep or something. The outdoors is awesome. It's wonderful. Get out here and do some exploring. Have a good one. Bye.